Good evening and welcome to the Ghana TV9 News Bulletin for Thursday, January 22, 2026. I'm Colin Abrams. In the headlines tonight, a stain on Parliament. Minister Ramkissoon condemns bid to appoint U.S. wanted businessman. U.S. ambassador dismisses claims of diplomatic targeting. Defends Speaker's right to speak. We will not leave Georgetown at the mercy of politics. Central government moves to fix garbage prices. McCoy dismisses Azharuddin Mohammed's political threat as absurd amid opposition leader selection controversy. Ghana to establish SCND centers in every region. Education Minister pledges universal support by 2031. And Nandlal schools Charandas on extradition law in Mohammed's fugitive row. Now for the news in depth. Georgetown residents will not be held hostage by political games. That was the firm assurance by the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, the Honorable Priya Manikchand, as central government stepped in to address the city's worsening garbage situation amid what she described as a clear lack of cooperation from the mayor. More from Adana Doric.
And it is clear that the mayor does not want to collaborate on the going forward for the city. We have noted that, and it's going to be acted on. But we can't leave the residents and users of Georgetown City at the mercy of a mayor who is playing politics. We simply will not.
That was Minister Manikchand speaking in a Facebook post, determined to protect residents from further disruption. The minister said she met directly with the garbage collectors and contractors to understand the real issues affecting waste collection. The discussion revealed a range of operational challenges, including shortages of workers, malfunctioning machinery, staffing problems, and a predictable surge in garbage during the Christmas season.
And some of it included things that have nothing to do with us or the residents and users of the city. They have a problem with workers. They have a problem with machinery. They have a problem with people. Christmas is usually more garbage and so on. We went through all of those and we went to each one of them about how it is they have to resolve those issues. We were very clear.
At the same time, the minister left no room for ambiguity when it comes to accountability, quote unquote. If they have a contract and entered into a contract to pick up garbage, then they must honor their obligations to pick up the garbage, she said. Contractors, however, expressed deep frustration at being accused of sabotaging the city, insisting that some of them have not been paid for as long as 6 months. According to Minister Manikchand, this meeting should never have been necessary. Sending a direct message to Georgetown residents, the minister reaffirmed that central government will intervene wherever necessary to ensure essential services continue.
I want the residents of the city to know that we in central government will not allow petty politics and backward politics, which has become a really bad habit for the residents and users of Georgetown, to get in the way of your life. We're going to have to serve you, and central government is going to have to make sure that happens, along with the PPP constituency leaders who want to continue to serve you, who are on the council and are being frustrated daily by this kind of mismanagement.
Minister Manikchand added that central government, along with the PPP constituency leaders serving on the council, remains committed to delivering for the people despite ongoing frustration caused by what she described as a persistent mismanagement. Adana Doric, Ghana TV9 News.
In a major de-escalation of diplomatic tension, U.S. Ambassador Nicole Terriot stated on Thursday that she does not feel personally targeted by Speaker Manzoor Nadir's recent public outbursts, labeling them as legitimate expressions of his personal views. The move signals a strategic retreat from a public spot, focusing instead on the long-awaited restoration of parliamentary order scheduled for next week. There's more.
Speaking with the media on Thursday, Ambassador Terriot said she did not interrupt the speaker's statements as an attack on diplomats.
Actually, it was prompted by one of the members of the diplomatic corps, and he very kindly agreed to meet with us. So nothing formal, just a chat.
Did he express concern about what was said previously by the diplomats here?
I don't think it's my place to say what he said. I have to talk to him.
But were you concerned about Central America? Thank you so much. Yes. I mean, he targeted the U.S. in particular, talking about whether the U.S. has an opposition leader
I don't feel like he targeted us. I think he was simply expressing his opinion, which he has the right to do.
Nadir's remarks delivered earlier this week came as he pushed back strongly against claims from sections of the opposition and the media that the National Assembly has been dysfunctional. He insisted that Parliament has been operational since it was convened on November 3rd, noting that dozens of parliamentary questions and several motions had already been received, processed, and relayed to opposition members through the Clerk of the National Assembly. The Speaker also reaffirmed his commitment to upholding the Constitution and maintaining the integrity of the House, pledging to carry out his duty, quote unquote, without fear or favor, affection, or ill will.
I have every intention of continuing in my tenure as Speaker to honor and uphold the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana without fear or favor, affection or ill will. Also, I have an obligation to preserve the dignity of the House. I intended to discharge my duties to the House and our people, regardless of the nastiness, the haranguing, and the vitriol being spewed by Honorable Azzuddin Mohammed and other elected opposition members of the House.
During his address, Nadir referenced comments reportedly made by some diplomats, which he suggested may have contributed to public perceptions that the Assembly had been inactive. While acknowledging the diplomatic community's long-standing role in supporting democracy in Guyana, he maintained that certain views expressed in this instance were based on misinformation. Ambassador Terriot's response appeared to ease tensions, underscoring that the Speaker's comments were not viewed by the United States as a direct criticism of its diplomatic engagement in Guyana. Adana Doric, Guyana TV9 News.
Minister within the Ministry of Agriculture, Vikash Ramkisoon, has issued a scathing rebuke of the potential election of U.S. indicted businessman Azzuddin Mohammed as leader of the opposition. The criticism follows an announcement made by the Speaker of the National Assembly that opposition MPs will vote to fill the long vacant post this Monday, January 26, 2026. Mohammed, the leader of the We Invest in Nationhood Party, WIN, is currently fighting extradition to the United States on charges of gold smuggling and money laundering. Faith Sandy has details in this report.
Speaking during a visit to Fisher Folk landing sites in Region 3, Ramkisoon said Mohammed poses no threat to the People's Progressive Party Civic, stressing that the government remains focused on its responsibility to the people of Guyana. He described Mohammed as a wanted criminal and reminded the public that the political movement associated with him only emerged after the United States imposed sanctions on Mohammed and his father.
Let me make it very clear. Mr. Mohammed, in no way, shape, or form, is any threat to the People's Progressive Party Civic. We, as a government, understands our responsibility very clearly to the people of Guyana. Mr. Mohammed is a wanted criminal. He's wanted by the government of the United States of America for serious crimes for which he is indicted. Right now, as the country knows, he's before the courts of Guyana fighting tooth and nail his extradition. And I want the Guyanese people to remember this political movement that was formed by this so-called political leader was only formed after the United States of America issued a very serious sanction for him and his father.
The minister also dismissed claims surrounding the swearing-in of an opposition leader, explaining that the process involves a simple meeting convened by the Speaker prior to a sitting of the National Assembly. He emphasized that holding political office does not provide immunity from prosecution, stating that extradition proceedings are a matter for the courts and not driven by the PPPC or the government.
And there's no swearing in of no opposition leader. It is a simple process before the sitting of the National Assembly. The Speaker simply has to call a meeting. Fugitive. We till 1992, we fought the dictatorship of the PNC. We fought leaders like Forbes Burnham, our party. Our party withstood the dictatorship. Our party fought leaders like Desmond Hoyt. When Desmond Hoyt lost elections in 92, recall what he did in the streets of Georgetown in 92, 1997. Slow fire, more fire. We went through it. We worked with the people of this country. So whatever progress and development you're seeing in Guyana, we withstood all dictatorship, burning, looting, all the crime wave, everything. We endured as a political party. We served the people of this nation. Make no bones about it. The People's Progressive Party Civic is fully aware of what it has to do for the people of this country. You're not going to be distracted by a little boy running around pretending to be a political and pretending to be as if he cares to the people of this nation. He's using the Guyanese people as a shield. But we have news for you. We have news for them. The simple news is being opposition leader does not make you immune from criminal prosecution. You do the crime, serve the time, and so the courts of this country will determine your extradition. It is not a PPP driven something. It is something that you have to go and face that indictment that is before you.
Minister Ramkisoon said the government will not be distracted from its development agenda, pointing to the presentation of the national budget later on January 26, which he noted reflects the commitments made by President Irfan Ali and the PPPC to the Guyanese people. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
The Minister of Natural Resources has cracked down on illegal mining in Guyana's Northwest District, seizing over 50 pieces of equipment from unlicensed operations in Eclipse Falls. Mining engines, generators, water pumps, hoses, and gold detection tools were confiscated during joint operations with the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, all being used in blatant violation of the law. Illegal mining continues to threaten the environment, economy, and public safety, and the ministry warns it will not be tolerated. The enforcement drive is part of a nationwide push to uphold the Mining Act, protect the country's natural resources, and ensure transparency while urging all miners to operate fully licensed and legally. More news on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. The government is aggressively expanding its Special Education Needs and Disabilities SEND infrastructure, with Minister of Education Sonia Parag announcing that dedicated centers will be established in every region over the next 5 years. This initiative marks a significant leap in national inclusivity. Guyana has grown from 13 SEND spaces in 2020 to 49 specialized facilities as of early 2026. Learn more about this initiative from the government from Faith Sandy.
Minister Parag highlighted the success of existing centers, noting her visits to 2 facilities in Region 5 where she saw high-quality teaching and personalized attention. She praised teachers for supporting both children and parents, while one Blairmont center serving 14 children of varying ages and abilities showed how special education needs and disabilities SEND centers promote independent development across diverse needs.
I was amazed. I was absolutely amazed to see one of them I went to at Blairmont. They had about 14 children of different ages and they had different special needs. And the teacher that was working with them, the parents, I'm not talking about me showing up there in one particular, on one specific day and then, that's the attitude or that's the behavior. The parents are coming to me and saying this teacher has done so well. They have taught not only the children how to manage, but they have also taught the parents how to manage outside of the class environment, outside of the school environment.
Minister Parag emphasized the importance of ongoing teacher training, noting that newly certified special education teachers will lead SEND centers in their communities. She said the next 5 years are critical for nationwide expansion, creating supportive environments where every child can develop according to their unique needs.
So the next 5 years will be very a critical and crucial one for special needs, special educational needs. And we are going to ensure that within this 5 years, we establish that space and create that environment in which these children can meet their milestones according to whatever the special need is. And we continue to train teachers as well in special needs. I just came back from a goal outreach at Leg One, and I met a teacher who actually specialized in special needs, and she just completed actually about a year or so ago, and perhaps she will become that person in the community who will be overlooking a center that is for special needs students. So it's wonderful. I am looking forward to it, and I can't emphasize how much the government, this means to the government, and how much we want to be able to see this particular initiative develop.
Minister Parag expressed optimism about the program, stressing that SEND centers are a key government priority. By expanding them nationwide, the government aims to empower children with special needs, support parents, and foster an inclusive education system where every child can thrive. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Attorney General Anil Nandlal has dismissed former MP Charandas Prasad's criticisms, accusing him of fundamentally misunderstanding extradition law. Nandlal firmly defended his classification of the Mohammeds as fugitive offenders, asserting the term is rooted in statute, case law, and established Commonwealth legal practice.
Nandlal addressed the controversy during his weekly Issues in the News, responding to a video in which Prasad challenged the Attorney General's terminology as both, quote-unquote, grammatically incorrect and legally incorrect.
And then we have Attorney General. I think you should come to the front of the class, Mr. Anil Nandlal. This is English 101. Let me define the word fugitive for you. A fugitive is someone who has escaped from legal custody or is running from legal custody, from the law. To describe the Mohammeds as fugitive offenders is grammatically incorrect. It's legally incorrect.
Dismissing that claim outright, Nandlal declared, quote unquote, I am very careful with what I use legal terminology. According to Attorney General, the answer to Prasad's objection is plainly stated in Guyana's laws. He pointed directly to the Fugitive Offenders Act, Chapter 1004, and read from its statutory definition.
A fugitive offender is defined in the Fugitive Offenders Act. Let me read it quickly. I did it already. A fugitive offender means a person who is accused or alleged to be unlawfully at large after conviction. So that's not relevant.
He further explained that the act applies to a person, quote unquote, who is accused of an extraditable offense committed within the jurisdiction of Guyana or any Commonwealth country or any foreign territory and is suspected to be in any country or territory other than the country and territory in which the offense was committed. Nandlal emphasized that the conviction is not a legal requirement under the Act, So he is a person who is accused, not a person who is convicted, he
Who is
stressed.
accused of an extraditable offense committed within the jurisdiction of Guyana or any Commonwealth country or any foreign territory, and or is suspected to be in any country or territory other than the country and territory in which the offense was committed. So he's a person who is accused, not a person who is convicted. That the laws of Guyana says that. What do you want me to call him? If the laws of Guyana says that he's a fugitive offender. And again, I ask you, go on your phone after you listen to me and Google the thing. Go to the laws of Guyana, search it.
He urged Prasad and other critics to consult the primary legal source before making public claims, again directing them to the Fugitive Offenders Act. Placing Guyana's legislation within a broader Commonwealth framework, Nandlal noted that similar terminology is used in England. In English, in England, the legislation in England describes such a person as a fugitive criminal, he said, explaining that English law applies to any person accused or convicted of an extradition crime committed within the jurisdiction of any foreign state who is in or is suspected of being in some part of or Majesty's dominion. Reinforcing his stance, Nandlal concluded, quote-unquote, our act describes him as a fugitive offender.
Our act describes him as a fugitive offender. So I hope that Charandas would stand educated, and so would the rest of the persons who seem to have some objection to the use of that term.
Adana Dorigan at TV9 News.
Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Kwame McCoy, has dismissed claims that Azharuddin Mohammed possesses any political threat to the PPPC, calling the narrative absurd. His comments come amid mounting controversy over Mohammed's potential selection as leader of the opposition ahead of the confirmed January 26 budget presentation. Here's more from Faith Sandy.
In his post, Minister McCoy reiterated that the PPPC remains politically strong and unthreatened, even as discussions intensify around Azharuddin Mohammed, a businessman turned politician and leader of the We Invest in Nationhood Win party. Mohammed emerged as a central political figure following the 2025 general and regional elections, where Win secured the largest share of opposition seats in the National Assembly, positioning him as the presumptive nominee for leader of the opposition. However, Mohammed's political rise has been clouded by serious legal issues. He is currently before the courts in extradition proceedings and has been indicted in the United States on charges linked to alleged gold smuggling, money laundering, and financial crimes. These developments have sparked national and international concern, with government officials repeatedly warning of the reputational and institutional risk of having an individual facing foreign criminal charges occupy a constitutionally significant office. The controversy has intensified as Monday, January 26, 2026, has been officially confirmed as Budget Day, when Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh is expected to present the national budget in the National Assembly. At the same time, public speculation and social media commentary suggests that the leader of the opposition could also be chosen on that same day, a claim that has fueled political tension and heightened scrutiny of parliamentary procedures. Addressing the matter, Speaker of the National Assembly Manzoor Nadir has stated that while the Constitution outlines a process for the appointment of an opposition leader, the situation surrounding Mohammed's legal status cannot be ignored. The Speaker has indicated that the issue requires careful consideration to ensure that parliamentary actions are lawful, credible, and do not expose the legislature to constitutional or diplomatic complications, particularly given the international dimension of the extradition case. Nonetheless, the convergence of Mohammed's legal battles, Minister McCoy's public defense of the PPPC's political dominance, and the impending presentation of the 2026 budget has placed Parliament at the center of high-stakes political moment, one that continues to generate sharp debate over leadership, legality, and the future direction of Guyana's opposition politics. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali welcomed a team of doctors from the World Pediatric Project, praising their life-changing work in Guyana. During this year's mission, the team, led by consultant orthopedic surgeon Dr. Haider Khan, collaborated with local medical staff to perform 8 corrective scoliosis surgeries at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. procedures that often costs over $100,000 abroad. The president highlighted the huge impact on families, relieving financial and logistical burdens while strengthening local medical skills, advancing national health care. He thanked the team for their continued commitment, emphasizing that international collaboration is improving outcomes for Ghana's children and building long-term capacity in the health sector. More news on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008-600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Ghana TV9 News Bulletin. With a staggering 10 road march titles to her name, Melissa Roberts, the icon known as Vanilla, has nothing left to prove. Yet, as the pulse of matrimony returns to the streets of Ghana, so does she. But this year, the veteran songstress isn't just chasing trophies, she's chasing the spirit of the festival itself. Here's more.
With a staggering 10 road march titles to her name, Melissa Roberts, the icon known as Vanilla, has nothing left to prove. Yet as the pulse of matrimony returns to the streets of Guyana, so does she. But this year, the veteran songstress isn't just chasing trophies, she's chasing the spirit of the festival itself.
In terms of the road march competition, I don't know as yet. The things have changed in so many ways in the creative industry. So for me, it's just kind of just feeling it out and just make sure that I have fun because it's march. March is my thing. Like march has always been my thing, like forever, as far as I can remember. So for me, it's really about enjoying the season, and the season feels great, and I feel great about it. So that's what's important.
Born in Mahaica, Berbice, and raised in Georgetown, Vanella's artistry was forged by the diverse landscapes of Guyana. But the path to the stage wasn't a straight line. Before she found her voice, she tried to find her hands, pursuing a passion for visual arts that ended in a humorous realization.
Art, not dance. So when I used to go to school, which I lived in New Amsterdam at the time, I used to do a lot of artwork.
So you grew up in Berbice?
Yeah, I grew up around Guyana, like different parts of Guyana, right? But I used to do a lot of art, and then I wanted to draw people, and I couldn't draw people the way I was seeing it, so I just quit art. Like I just drop it like this ain't working out. This ain't happening for me.
So you were just testing the waters in.
I was not. I was like really into it until it's time for me to draw people, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not getting this right. Like, what is wrong with me?
While the canvas wasn't her calling, movement was. The second of 4 siblings, Vanilla first spoke through the language of dance, performing in cultural showcases across the country. That passion eventually landed her a job at the legendary Cross Color Records. Working behind the scenes, she was content to watch the stars until a twist of fate forced her into the booth. With a jingle needed a recording and no other artists were available, producer Birchmore Simon made a call that would change Guyanese music history. That accidental session birthed a powerhouse. As her confidence surged, so did her dominance. Vanilla became a fixture of matrimony, her voice and high-octane energy becoming the literal soundtrack to the streets. Today, with her legacy cemented in 10 road march wins, she continues to evolve. She has expanded her repertoire into film production, proving her creativity refuses to be boxed in.
From there, then I got into music by accident. It wasn't like I planned it or, oh, I want to be a singer or any of that. It was like basically by accident. There were no singers available at the studio that I was working with at the time. And the producer, big up Mr. Birchmore Simon, he was like, come sing this thing for me. I'm like, what? What do you mean come sing this thing? I don't know what to sing. He said, just come, I can tell you what to do and whatever. And then I tried it and I was like, oh, this ain't too bad. And then basically that's how I got stuck in singing.
Now, as she returns to the Soca Monarchs stage, she isn't just a competitor, she is a guardian of the culture. Driven by maturity and a deep-seated love for her roots, she's reminding the world that while titles are temporary, good vibes are forever. Soca is life, she declares. As matrimony pulses through Guyana once again, one thing is certain, Vanilla is back. Not just to conquer the stage, but to uplift the soul of the celebration. Adana Doric, Guyana TV9 News.
Now for some regional news. In neighboring Trinidad, a 31-year-old courier, Joshua Samaru, is dead, and his common-law wife, Kia Seeley, is fighting for her life after a police-involved shooting in St. Augustine South on January 2026. The couple was shot while outside Samaru's car, with police claiming a pursuit led to the shooting, though family members insist neither was involved in any criminal activity. Relatives are frustrated and desperate for answers, saying authorities have not communicated details. The tragedy has reignited public concern over police use of force as investigations continue, and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has yet to release an official statement. Internationally, at least 2 people are dead and several remain missing after catastrophic landslides hit New Zealand's North Island. One landslide in Welcome Bay killed 2, while another devastated a Mount Manganoi campsite, leaving campers unaccounted for, including at least 1 child. Rescue teams are working through the night, though no signs of life have been found, while power outages and blocked roads have cut off entire communities. Mount Manganoi recorded its wettest day on record with more than 2 months' worth of rain in 12 hours. Prime Minister Christopher Luxon called the disaster a profound tragedy, pledging government support, while authorities warn of more unstable weather, urging residents to avoid contaminated waters and stay alert for further landslides. And finally, in tonight's newscast, more than 620,000 people have been affected as relentless torrential rains trigger devastating floods across Mozambique, forcing thousands to flee and leaving families stranded on rooftops as water continues to rise. Over 72,000 homes have been destroyed, with roads, bridges, and health facilities washed away, paralyzing entire communities and cutting off access to help. Rescue teams, supported by Red Cross volunteers and South African Air Force helicopters, are battling dangerous conditions to reach those trapped and deliver aid. With dams at full capacity and more heavy rain forecast, special officials warn that crisis could worsen, highlighting Mozambique's growing vulnerability to climate-driven extreme weather and deepening fears for lives and livelihoods. And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GOI TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Colin Abrams. Good night.